Okay, cool. So just taking a quick break. And Andrei, welcome to class. Andrei, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you, teacher.
Nice. And Andrei, what have you done today?
Not special, but I've done a lot of enjoy thing and weekend.
Okay, what did you
Uh,
do this weekend?
I spent all weekend with my girlfriend, and uh, we went to the cinema and the cafe and just walking down the street and uh, etc.
Cool. That sounds really nice. Awesome. And Aya, welcome back. Aya, how are you
Welcome
doing?
back, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Nice to see you
Mhm.
again.
Thank you,
And
teacher.
you're welcome. So what have you done in between the last class we had and this class? So what have
I
you
have
done?
prepared dinner
Okay.
and I've talked a little bit with my mom and my sister and brother.
Nice. Okay, cool. What did you prepare for dinner? What did you cook?
Um, Rice and chicken.
Rice and chicken? Nice.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Spicy
Okay.
rice.
Nice. Spicy rice. That's my favorite
Yes.
type of rice. I love spicy food. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, good. And so, SN, what about you? What did you do over the weekend? What did you do last weekend?
Last weekend, actually, it's almost end of the month, so I don't have enough money to do something. So I spend all of my time at home, and I took some classes. That's all.
Okay. We would say I didn't have enough money to do anything.
But I still don't have enough money to do anything, actually.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Verbling is not so expensive.
Yes, so because my traveling expenses was paid by my father, so
Perfect. That's awesome. Okay, so it sounds like a pretty relaxing weekend.
yes,
Um,
so like
really-
at home and nothing.
yeah, kind of explains today drinking coffee and reading a book as
Yes,
well.
it was also quite cheap, so.
Yeah. And Kasha, welcome to class as well. Kasha, how are you doing? Kasha, can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, okay, thank
Nice.
you.
Okay, good. And so Kasha, what have you done between now and the last class we had together?
Sorry, I a bit in rush quitted start our lesson, but I had a really important phone call, so I didn't even have time to write something that I'm finishing. So sorry for that. And between this, I was talking through phone around hour.
Okay.
And later I was just like eating, so nothing special.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and don't worry about leaving the class. It's never a problem.
Okay.
Okay. And Christian, what about you? What did you do over the weekend, Christian?
I went to a concert, but it was a small gig. One of my friends plays in a band.
Okay.
I went to that, and it was on Saturday. And on Friday, I went out to drink some beers.
Okay. Nice. That sounds like a pretty good weekend. Awesome.
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay, cool. Let's get started with today's class then. Um, and let's start with Aya. Aya, can you read the title in the next couple of lines?
Today we will talk about learning and online education, uh, cultural views of education.
Yeah, good. And so let's go on to the first page. And Aya, can you ask Andrei the first question?
Yeah, okay. What's your favorite memory from your time in school?
One of my favorite memory is that I had my favorite subject was history, and I had my favorite teacher of that subject, and I was pretty success in that subject. I had top. I had a high level of knowledge about that subject, and I think so. That's it. I think.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I think we'd remove that like beginning part. So my favorite subject was history, and I had my favorite teacher. In that subject, maybe? I had my favorite teacher in that subject.
In
Or you could even say teacher,
and also I have a top grade.
Yeah. I got the top grade, or I got the best grade.
Yes, I got the best grade.
Nice. Okay, good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And yeah, I love history as well. Andrei, can you ask us the next question?
Did you go to public school or private school? Which type of school is better in your country?
Okay. I went high school. I'm sorry. I went to high school, and it was a public school, and I'm still going to state university. And in my country, state schools, for example, as universities, state school is always better than private schools. But if you have a scholarship in private schools, you may choose it also. But in high school education, it's kind of different. It depends on which school you're going, so it's really hard to compare.
Nice. It depends on which school you go to. It's hard to compare. Really good answer. Awesome.
I have a question. Is it free in your country about education?
Yes, for state schools it is totally free, but private schools, of course, they're not free. But you can, if you're successful, if you deserve to go to state school, you can also prefer to go to private school without any fees. Like you can have a scholarship or stuff like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice. Something like. Okay, and Asen, I forgot. What are you studying? What are you studying right now?
I study law.
Okay, awesome. Law. Perfect. And good. Does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions here? Cool. Let's go to the next page. And Kasia, can you read the title, the directions, and the first 4 words?
Of course, vocabulary, define these words or use them in sentences. Accessible, alternative, geography, compare.
Nice. That sounded really good. Maybe you were really close with geography. Can you repeat it one more time? Geography?
Geography. I missed geography.
Yeah, geography. Okay, good. That sounded great. And Christian, can you read the next 4 words?
Okay, graduate, evaluation, instructor, Photocopier.
Nice. Maybe graduate. Graduate.
Graduate. Graduate.
Close.
Graduate.
Yeah,
Graduate.
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 Yeah, graduate. So it's got like a j sound instead of that hard D.
Okay. Graduate.
Good, graduate. Perfect. So there's another word that looks really similar, and it looks the same. Graduate. Graduate. And it's pronounced like graduate. It's like that. Graduate. And that's the noun, the person who just graduated. So this would be the verb. And the other one is the noun. So the person who just graduated. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And does anybody have any questions about any of these words? Any questions?
That's
Okay, nothing?
not.
Okay. Okay, good. So can each of you choose a word, and can you write that word in a sentence? So can you choose a word and write a sentence with that word in the chat box? Nice. Okay, good. And here. Let's get these here. Okay, and let's start with Asen. Can you read your sentence out loud?
Okay. If I were a teacher, evaluation part of education would be the most important part for me.
Nice. Okay. Good. If I were a teacher, evaluation part of education would be the most. Okay, so we'd use an article.
The evaluation?
Yeah, the evaluation part of education would be the most important part for me.
By the way, may I ask a question?
Yes.
I was reading an article, and actually I was trying to write, and there is a right, maybe a freedom of media, but I was confusing about where I'm gonna use this article, the freedom of the media or just freedom of the media. Can you make it clear?
Yeah. The freedom of the media. In the United States, we'd call that freedom of speech.
Okay.
Freedom of speech it's really tied closely to the freedom of the media. Freedom of the media. Yeah, I think you'd call it the freedom of the media.
Okay, just one the. Okay, so I use it.
freedom of the press. Sorry, freedom of the press is what we'd call it.
Okay, so just one article, it is enough, right? Freedom of the speech or freedom of the press. Just one there I should use.
Yeah, so if you're talking about freedom of speech, you actually wouldn't use an article. So you just say freedom of speech, and then you could say freedom of the press.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you're talking also, you can say the freedom of the press. If you're talking about it kind of in more specific terms.
Okay, for
Yeah,
example,
so
in a
you actually would use
case.
two. The freedom of the press is an important thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, okay, good. Really good question. That took me a second. The evaluation part of education. But I think that's a good sentence. Aya, can you read your sentence?
Okay, he's more accessible than most politicians. I've made the mistake on politicians.
Yeah, this is good. So he is more accessible than most politicians. So we changed than, or then, to than. So then is chronology, and than is kind of comparative. But good, so he's more accessible than most politicians. Okay, good. And let's have Kasha, can you read your sentence?
Yeah, of course. Geography. Geography was my favorite subject at the high school. Should I put there?
Yeah, maybe
Article?
instead of at high school, we'd use a different preposition.
In the high school?
Yeah, we'd just say in high school.
In high school.
No article. Yeah, and geography. Can you repeat geography?
Yeah, geography.
Yeah, geography. Good. Okay, and there's one more. Christian, can you read your sentence?
Okay, getting a loan is a good alternative when you want to study but don't have the money.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't change that at all. That sounds good. Getting a loan is a good alternative when you want to study but don't have the money. Good. Okay, nice.
Thank you.
And yeah, you're welcome. And sorry, Andri, get you on the board right now. Andri, can you read your sentence?
You should do your best to be evaluated higher than every one of your classmates soon.
Okay. You should do your best to be evaluated higher than everyone. So everyone, in this case, than every one of your classmates, would be two different words. To be evaluated. You should do your best to be evaluated higher than every one of your classmates. It'd sound better to say to score higher than every one of your classmates. To be evaluated is just passive voice, and we try to avoid passive voice when we can in English. So it sounds a little bit awkward. It still works. So yeah, I wouldn't change that. You're still good. Does anybody have any questions here? Okay. Yeah, and so that only thing, Christian, just try to avoid. Andri, just try to avoid the passive voice. But good.
Okay, I'll avoid the passive voice in the future.
Okay.
At least I'm trying.
Yeah, and it's fine. So the passive voice still works, and people understand its meaning. It just sounds really unusual.
Unusual and awkward.
Awkward, yes, definitely. But it's okay. So cool. Let's go to the next page. Yeah, let's try this. And let's have Asen. Can you read the comic?
Yes, actually I can, but it's kind of blurry, actually.
Okay, I'll zoom in. And we can go. Can you see it now?
Yes. When did the pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock? What kind of word are they?
It's Plymouth. Plymouth.
Plymouth. Okay. Okay. And 1620. As you can see, I've memorized this utterly useless fact long enough to pass a test question. I now intend to forget it forever. You've taught me nothing except how to cynically manipulate the system. Congratulations. They say the satisfaction of teaching makes up for the lousy pay.
Good. Lousy. Can you repeat
Lousy.
lousy?
Lousy. Actually, it was my first time that I've seen that word.
That's okay. That's good. Lousy.
Lousy.
So lousy just means really bad.
Like loser. Yeah, lousy.
Yeah. But good. This is great. Sen, can you? Well, actually, Kasha, what do you think this is trying to say? What's this comic mean?
So actually, I'm gonna explain, right? Or someone else?
Yeah, Kasha. If you can.
I'm sorry, maybe Esan will go because with this, because I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, Sen, if you think.
Okay. Actually, I think I can. He was trying to answer this question, and he thought this question is completely useful because just the aim of the question just to ask the date, exact date, but it doesn't make sense, like it's kind of useful, and as I can understand, it talks about that, but I am not sure.
Okay. Yeah, so he thinks that maybe the question's a little bit useless because it's just asking for the exact. It doesn't actually ask anything more than that.
Yes. For example, how did it start, or at the end of what happened?
Yeah. So there's nothing really contextual about it. It's just asking for a date. So Andre, what do you? Huh?
I'm sorry. May I say now something?
Yeah.
Because this just like now now I like paid attention. Sorry on this, and this a bit like brought me such thought right now that I don't know, but many times in Polish schools it's a huge problem with this, that they teach us a lot of things which aren't too helpful and useful for the future, for our future life. Like we have to many times learn things which like we won't use anymore further. Yes, it's obvious we have to some facts know, some dates, but how many of them we remember after 10 years? Like this, most of the things won't help us prepare us to future life.
Yeah, prepare us for future life.
Yes. Like,
Yeah,
for example, in Poland, they mainly put attention on theory knowledge, and these practical skills are much in the background, much far away from us, and we finish school and we are lost. We don't know what to do because we have a bunch of facts, but we can use it in practice. So
yeah.
I will like to cut this to a minimum what we really have to know, and the rest of the things is like how to use this in practice, which is like totally omitted. I don't know in the whole world, but because in many schools abroad, I heard that it's like in Germany, they more put on practical side during university, and this is cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a really great explanation. Okay, perfect. Does anybody else have anything to add or anything else that they want to talk about?
I think the author meant that the education system is frustrating for both the students and the teachers.
Yeah.
because the student isn't learning something useful, and the teaching is getting criticized by the student.
Yeah, nice. The student isn't learning anything useful, and the teacher's being criticized for the student. And also, the teachers may be forced to teach to a certain curriculum.
Yeah.
I think, for example, it's the same about learning language. If we use the wrong way about learning, we gonna be frustrating about that.
Okay. Yeah, so learning a language in the wrong way is frustrating, often if it's just trying to memorize grammatical points and things like that. It's not quite as fun as actually using it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes, I said. I wanted to say that.
Okay, good. I think that's what I understood at least. That was good. Okay, perfect. Any other points or comments on this page?
No, no.
Okay. Okay, good. And so if we're talking about history, this is maybe a little bit of a difficult question. So can anybody think of maybe a better question to ask on a test than when did the Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock? So something about that, something about history, would be a better question if you were asking on an exam. And it doesn't really have to be anything specific. It can just be any idea that you have. So anything that you think, what would be a better question?
And for example, for me, if I were a history teacher, I would prefer to ask like one by one. For example, I would give an paragraph, then I'll make a couple of sentences, like 1, 2, 3, and I would ask like, according to the paragraph, what do you think that which one is correct or not correct? So okay, if you have a background about it, you can mix with paragraph, then you can find the solution, so it will be useful and easy to teach, easy to understand, easy to memorize, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, so maybe a little bit more context. That's good. Okay, cool. Does anybody else have any other ideas that they think they would say?
I think that also very important question in history is why. So because we need to understand history to avoid mistakes in the future, and teaching students only facts, dates, it's like, yes, it's also worth to know, but this isn't what will help us in the future. So we need to know why maybe the pilgrims land at Plymouth. How you can rate this in your opinion, because also we have to teach students own thinking, not only repeating this what was in the book and what other people thought, but also like how you judging this. Maybe it's a higher level, but we need to try open students that they won't be scared to say what they really think and how they judging these facts, because it is very important.
Yeah. Nice. That's a great answer. That's great. Nice job. Okay, good. And I think that's about good for this page. Let's go on to the next one. And let's talk about some alternative education. And let's start with Christian. Can you read this paragraph?
Okay, alternative schools. In the United States and in the rest of the world, people are turning to alternative schools. People are educating themselves online, sending their children to Montessori schools, or opting for private education.
Good. Good correction with private. That sounded great. Okay, Christian, can you ask Aya the first question?
Okay, what do you think about alternative education?
Sorry, teacher. Alternative education, it's more than one education?
Yeah, it could be really any type of education, apart from like really standard public and private schools. So alternative education is just something that's a different way of educating somebody. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. So
Ask
online
someone
education.
else and I will understand.
Okay. Okay. Andrew, what about you? What do you think about alternative education?
I think that it makes sense because it have reason because education I think nowadays should be more flexible. I think.
Okay, good. So education should be more flexible. Definitely, I think that's true. I think different people need different things in their education as well, and alternative education can provide that. Can somebody explain what alternative education is in their own words? Just so we can help Aya out. What's alternative education?
Alternative education, in my opinion, it's teaching, for example, kids through internet, private lessons. So, like, we have private tutor who is coming to us, or we meet with him in hours which are comfortable for us. So, not schedule, and we have to go then and then, but everything is like depends on us. When we have time, then we study, or we don't have to even move out from the house.
Yeah. Okay. So learning in a time frame that's comfortable for the learner. That's definitely could be part of it. Definitely, there's a number of different things that are alternative education. Really, just anything that's different. So any different type of learning methods would be alternative education, Aya. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're welcome. And so, Asen, can you ask Aya the next question?
Okay. Do you think that online education is a good option for young students?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, why?
Because it helps. In nowadays, we use more internet, and we don't have to it's easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's easier.
Yeah.
For sure. How young do you think people should start maybe educating themselves online? How young do you think people should start?
The age?
Yeah.
Um, sorry, I can. But they can start in 7 years when their parents are with them, and they learn.
Okay, good. Nice. Okay, good. And let's have Andre. Can you ask Esen the next question?
Do you know any other types of alternative education?
Actually, I'm not sure that if it's correct answer for this question, but as far as I know, one of my friends, and he's going to private school, and he has a class in his university. It's an elective course, and so to be successful about this class, you have to go to mountain and you have to live there for a while without anything, like without internet connection or stuff like that. And I think it's an alternative education. I'm not sure, just.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a really good example of alternative education. That's something that's not mainstream. That's definitely a lot very different. Yeah, that would be a good example of alternative education. Good. How long is a while? How long does your friend have to live in the mountain?
Actually, because of the schedule in year, it's kind of like 2 weeks. It's not that long, but you know, it's already hard to live there
Yeah.
for 2 weeks without internet connection, or you have to eat something and you have to find them out. So 2 weeks is already long,
Yeah, it's a
I think.
long time. For sure. Okay, awesome. Really good answer. Okay, and good. Does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions? Cool, let's go to the next page. Let's talk about some quotations. Asen, can you read the first quotation?
Okay. Education is the kindling of flame, not the filling of a vessel. Socrates.
Okay, and we'd say Socrates. Socrates.
Socrates. Okay.
Socrates.
Yeah.
Actually, in Turkish we also say Socrates, but I'm not sure. Maybe in Greek, Socrates.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, in Greek it's Socrates, I believe. Although I'm not too sure. So one small thing I noticed was kindling. Can you repeat kindling?
Kindling.
Yeah, the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. Good. Does anybody have any questions about any of these words? Any questions here?
What about vessel? What does it mean?
Hey, vessel. What's vessel mean? Does anybody know?
Through this, blood is going in our organism.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sorry.
Once again,
Sorry, can you explain what a vessel is? What's a vessel?
I don't know if I could remember this word, but associated with blood, which is going through this in our organism.
Okay, I think it might be a little bit different. So, I'm not sure if I heard you well, though. So, what I'd call a vessel is some sort of container. So, you could either say it's a boat, a bowl, a cup. So, really anything that holds anything, something else. Holds something. Would be a container.
But as I know, Socrates used it as a plate. In his philosophy, he believes it like a vessel, like a plate, and you know. Do you understand what I mean?
I'm not sure. Maybe if you write it down, I just a plate.
Plate.
Oh, a plate.
Plate, yes,
Yeah.
plate, not plate.
Yeah, to some extent, I think it'd be more like a cup or a bowl, just because. But like a plate could be a vessel. Yeah, a plate could work.
Oh, okay. So
Sorry,
just.
teacher.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what was that?
Me. It was it's not a ship or large boat vessel.
Yeah, a ship or a large boat. Like I said earlier, it's something that holds something. So a vessel, if you're talking about it as a boat, it just holds people and cargo.
Okay.
But truly, it could be anything that holds something else.
Mhm.
So think of it just like as a container of sorts.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions about any of these words? Any other questions?
Kindling is like throwing something to a fireplace.
Like, kindling in this case is a verb, or a gerund, would be like the starting or the lighting of a fire. Kindling is a noun. There's also small sticks used to start a fire. Start a fire. So the two kind of different definitions. We'd be talking about the first one, the verb. So the starting or the lighting of a flame. And so, Kasha, can you ask Christian the first question?
Of course. What does this quotation mean? Do you agree or disagree? Why?
Okay, this quotation means that education is about encouraging something, encouraging a person to start doing something by her own, not giving that person a lot of information and expecting that person learn that by memory and that's all.
Yeah.
And I agree. And I agree. I think is the correct way of seeing education to encourage people to learn something.
Okay, it's the correct way of viewing education. Awesome. I think that's great. That's a great answer. Aya, do you agree or do you disagree with that answer?
I can't disagree with Socrates.
What was that?
I can't disagree with Socrates.
Okay, I can't
Yeah.
disagree with Socrates. Good,
Socrates,
remembered.
yeah.
Yeah, good. I think that's a great answer. Okay. Asen, can you explain yourself? What you wrote down in the chat box.
Okay. So before it, I want to say something. We have a class in university, so the main subject of this class criticized Socrates. You know, it's really hard, and I took it twice time.
Okay.
So I wanted to say in chat box, he believes that actually he defends that human brain is kind of empty, but it's not empty. It looks like it is empty. We have something before we're born, and when you're learning something new, actually you're not learning. You're just digging them out. He believes like that. It's kind of hard to explain in English, but
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I actually didn't know that in his philosophy, but good. I think that's a really good point. Thank you for that. I always learn something new in class. Okay, but good. And does anybody else have anything else that they'd like to add to this?
Sorry, teacher. We can say that this quotation mean that we have to use our learning, our ideas, and not just have it. We have to use it.
We have to use our learning and our ideas and not just our habits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's true. So to some extent,
Or it's
You-
talk about the brain.
talking about what?
The brain.
Yeah. In so much that filling up your
We don't have
your brain.
to put the information on our brains and don't use it. We have to use some our nose.
Yeah, I think it's the idea of always being really hungry to find more information.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just about filling up your brain or something with a set number of
Mhm.
predetermined facts. It's the idea of being curious and looking for more knowledge always.
because he believes that we already have them, even we don't know about them. For example, I'm terrible about math,
Okay.
but he believes that I believe I have this information about math, but just I didn't realize yet.
Okay. Yeah. And so in that case, it'd be like a kindling of a flame.
Yes, just start it and it will come more and more, but you're not putting something on your brain, just you're discovering.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. And again, new light on this philosophy. Okay. Cool. Let's read the other one. And let's have Aya. Can you read this next quotation?
Okay. Education. The path from cookie ignorance to miserable uncertainty.
Close. Uncertainty. Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Okay.
Good. Okay, and Aya, can you ask Andri the first question?
Why does this quotation mean? What does this quotation mean? Do you agree or disagree, and why?
It's a difficult one. I didn't understand the meaning of that quotation.
Me too.
Okay, yeah. So are there any words in particular that you don't understand?
The past.
The what does it mean? Cookie. Cookie. It's
Cocky. Okay.
cookie.
Yeah, does anybody know what cocky means?
Arrogance.
Yeah, arrogance, self-assuredness. Good.
Ignorance.
Okay. And any other questions? Any other questions about any of these words?
About certainly.
Uncertainty?
Uncertainty.
It's like the state of not knowing for sure. So being uncertain.
Uncertain. The same word in French.
Okay. What's the word in French?
Uncertain.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so, yeah, it's the state of being uncertain, of not knowing for sure, of doubting. Okay, does that help, Andre? Does that help with your definition?
I don't know. Maybe I missed that one.
Okay, that's fine. What about Kasha? What do you think?
Oh, sorry, I changed the stuff. If I agree or not, and why? Yes.
So what do you think it means? What do you think it means?
Oh, it means that in the beginning, when we start our adventure with studying, or when someone doesn't have knowledge, many times it's as it's written here, very cocky, so arrogant, very sure of himself, and it's look like he know everything, yes, but more the such person get education, this attitude is getting be changed. It's like less and less certain of himself, of everything around. It's asking more. It's like more doubtful for everything, because this is causing knowledge that like whole philosophy is based on this. Why? So as much we know, then more we ask, and this is causing this miserable uncertainty, because like Socrates said, like stiome nihil stira, yes, so I know that I don't know anything, and I think this is a quality of smart people, that they will never say that they are very smart, because we never be smart. We always should have distance and be a bit doubtful in life and have respect to the knowledge.
Nice. Awesome. I think that's a great point. Really well done. Okay, and does anybody have any questions? Any questions about anything on this page? Okay, Andre, do you think you understand this quotation a little bit more now?
Yes. Thank you for great, Kasia, for great explanation. Now I'm understand that quotation.
Okay.
You're welcome, Andre.
Awesome. Cool. Let's go on to the.
We have a lot of science to learn, and it's there are infinite and endless, and we can't know them for all of our life.
Okay. Infinite. Infinite.
Infinite, yeah.
And then things. Can you repeat things as well, Andre?
Things.
Yeah, there's an infinite number of things to know. But good. Let's go on to the next page. I think we've got time for this. And let's have Christian. Can you play the mother? Can you read this role?
Okay. You want your children to enroll in an experimental school. They do not sing grades and let the student choose what to study. Try to convince your husband that your children's school that the children should attend this alternative school.
Good. Okay. And let's have Asen. Can you play the father?
Okay, you don't want your kids to change schools. You think traditional schools are best. Convince your wife that this new school with no curriculum and few rules will be a better alternative for your kids.
Good. And assign. Christian, can you repeat assign?
Assign.
Good. Nice job, assign. Okay, and can you guys play those two roles?
Okay. Okay, listen, I've been talking with our children. I think he's not motivated to keep going to the school he's going. I think he needs more freedom about what he wants to study. What do you
Okay,
think?
I know it's kind of new fashion nowadays, but I don't agree with that. Actually, I'm totally against of it. So I believe in traditional education system. We already have a good one, so why do we need another one?
Because he started. He says he's not learning anything.
Ah, come on, you don't believe him. I mean, okay, believe him, but but I no. Of course, he's learning something. I can realize every day. Uh, he wants he wants more freedom because he's gonna hang out with his friends in this class. So just traditional schools is enough. Come on. I don't have enough money to do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
You can argue with money, but why don't we look for a solution that made us both happy? Why don't we keep him in the traditional school, but I don't know, search for some extracurricular
Okay. So
things that he can study?
okay. So can you give a specific example? What do you want exactly? Like where he's gonna go?
I don't know. I think he should learn to grow his own food.
Okay, but just I need something specific. Like he wants to go there, so here is the circumstances, not circumstances. What was the word? Conditions, yes. And I just want to know I pay for what or where he's gonna go. Just that stuff. I can't allow to him to go somewhere which I don't know about it.
Okay, good. Let's just good. Let's pause here. I can't allow him to go somewhere that a place that I don't know about maybe would work. But really good talking, both of you guys. Really good grammar, good complete sentences. Something like small article things like the traditional education system. I noticed Christian's study.
Study.
Yeah, but other than that, you guys did a really good job. Unfortunately, we're just out of time. I do have another class right after this, so if you guys want to join that, feel free. But if not, have a really great day, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.
Okay, see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for class.
Thank you. Bye, Joel.
Bye, guys.